It was our hope not to have to submit once again a similar draft resolution. However, the human rights situation in the Syrian Arab Republic requires us to condemn this situation once again. Mr. Chairman, the innocent victims in Syria are looking towards us to condemn the government of Syria, given the inability of the international community to take the necessary measures to put an end to the tragedy affecting that country. Today, in submitting this draft resolution on behalf of the countries that I have just listed, this is a draft resolution which is based on previous United Nations resolutions and from the Human Rights Council, is based on the human rights situation on the ground. Thank you, Chairman. The introduction of draft resolution L42 is an attack against my country in the form of a draft resolution by a country in which the enjoyment of human rights, fundamental freedoms, and democracy is the last of its concerns. This is another vain attempt by Saudi Arabia and its allies to interfere in the internal affairs of my country and to destabilize the country. They are fabricating unfounded allegations against the Syrian Arab Republic, ignoring what is actually taking place in the country and the positive and constructive approach that Syria has adopted in order to ensure that there is a peaceful and political solution to the Syrian crisis through cooperation and dialogue between Syrians themselves. Mr. Chairman, Saudi Arabia and the Saudian regime in particular are against establishing a parliament in Saudi Arabia. There is no parliament. There is no constitution in Saudi Arabia. Women don't even have the right to ride a bicycle, never mind drive a car. And despite all this, Saudi Arabia allows itself the audacity to attack our country, a country in which the vice president is a woman. This annoys Saudi Arabia. This dictatorship is not representative of Islam. We have a balanced and different reading of Wahhabism as it exists under the Saudi regime, which protects it throughout the world. My delegation has met a number of delegations to express the contradictions and counter-truths in this resolution. I believe that the issue is clear to us all, and that is that the draft resolution is a political resolution par excellence. It is unilateral and will not contribute in any way to achieving a political solution of the crisis. This is a draft resolution which just adds oil to the fire because it deliberately ignores the positive developments that have taken place in Syria at a number of levels with regard to a number of issues, beyond the fact that this resolution is a further attempt to turn the attention of the international community from the actions of terrorists and from Al-Qaeda, who is doing everything possible to extend terror and extremism in Syria by undertaking massacres. These are groups which unfortunately enjoy the support of a number of countries who are sitting here in this very room and those who have submitted this resolution. Mr. Chairman, we call upon member states to look in a neutral way the contents of this draft resolution and see who are the co-sponsors of it and what is the final objective of this resolution being submitted. I wish to highlight the fact that the objective of the resolution is to undermine Geneva II. And I'd like to remind you that the Saudi capital, Riyadh, is the only country which has refused the visit of Mr. Brahimi, who was seeking to convince all parties of the need to hold a conference. Only Riyadh and the Saudi regime refused to host Mr. Brahimi.
سوف يطلب وفد بلادي.
Mr. Chairman, my delegation will call for a vote on draft resolution before it is adopted. And I would call upon all states to vote against this draft resolution in respect for their own credibility and the role of the United Nations, and that is to help member states and not to target a specific country. And that is the position adopted by the non-aligned movement, which includes Saudi Arabia. But Saudi Arabia has been the first country to violate this joint position of the non-aligned movement. Thank you, Chairman.
Je remercie le représentant de la